I'm Molly Kilman with the Alabama Department of Public Health's Nutrition and Physical Activity Division. I'm a registered dietitian and I'm the director of the division. We are so happy that you're able to join us today for this presentation on how to help families eat healthy on a budget. I've been a registered dietitian for a long time, and this comment comes up quite frequently. I can't eat healthy, it's too expensive. I hear that from the general public, and sometimes I actually hear that from health professionals. And today's presentation is going to actually demonstrate how some small, simple changes can be made that aren't too expensive, that can improve the overall quality of a diet, of a person's diet. Many times people will follow the hottest and latest diet trends, and that can be quite expensive. However, for the typical average American family eating the typical average American meal, there are some simple steps that can be taken to eat healthier and not break the bank. We're very pleased today to have Davia Adams with us to present this topic. Davia is a registered dietitian, and she works in the Nutrition and Physical Activity Division. She's based in Limestone County and helps us with many of our programs and initiatives in the northern part of the state. She's been a registered dietitian in public health for over 20 years and has a great deal of experience in nutrition education for low-income audiences. She works on our SNAP education program, teaching families and teaching children the importance of a healthy diet and healthy lifestyles. Thanks so much, Davia, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Molly. I do appreciate the welcome. And as you stated, it's very important that we eat healthy, but that we also try to make sure that we stay within the budget. And sometimes it is hard, as you stated, when there's so many things that are out in the public in terms of new foods, new ideas, new diets. What is the healthiest way to eat, especially when your funds are limited? So today I would like to share with you all ways in which you can use these guidelines, tools and tips to help eat healthy and make healthy food choices, but remain in your budget. But before I do talk about these things, I would like to discuss some health information that's very important on why you need to eat healthy. And I'd like to begin by looking at Alabama's health and dietary statistics. First of all, I'd like to look at obesity and overweight, but I'd like to define what overweight is. Overweight is a body mass index, BMI, of 25 to 29. Overweight is overweight, and obesity is a BMI of 30 or greater. For children, we look at growth charts, and for children that are at the 85th percentile to the 95th percentile are considered overweight children. Those that are at the 95th percentile and greater are considered obese. Now looking at the information on the slide, in Alabama as of 2015, 36% of the Alabamians, the adults, were overweight. 32% were obese. 16% of adolescents were overweight, and 17% of adolescents were obese. And looking at the next chronic disease, cardiovascular indices, we're going to look at high blood pressure and high cholesterol. What is high blood pressure? High blood pressure is a reading of 140 over 90 or greater. And high cholesterol is having a total body cholesterol, blood cholesterol, of 200 milligrams per deciliter or greater. So in 2013, Alabamians, the adults, 40% of adults had high blood pressure, and 44% of adults had high cholesterol. Looking at diabetes. Diabetes of the adult population in Alabama, 13% of adults had diabetes. This is in 2014. Just 10 years ago, 8% of adults had diabetes. So you can see that diabetes is increasing in the state. Dietary Statistics in 2013. Looking at fruit and vegetable consumption. Fruit consumption for adults, 26% consume vegetables less than 1 time per day. Now that number may seem that it is a little, that it would be a little higher than what is stated, but you have to realize that potatoes in form of French fries also is included as a vegetable. 46% consume fruit less than 1 time per day. Now looking at Alabama's food insecurity, and to define what food insecurity is. Food insecurity is being without sufficient quantity of affordable food. In Alabama, 19.2 or 19% of Alabamians were in food insecurity. And Alabama has the second highest food hardship rate in the nation, according to FRAC, which is the Food Research and Action Center, in which they follow trends of food insecurity in the nation. What are some guidelines to help make those healthy food choices for your family? There are 3 guidelines I'd like to talk about. The first one is the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. It's produced every 5 years. The latest edition was last year. MyPlate and the Nutrition Facts label that actually had its most recent edition this year in May. Starting off with the Dietary Guidelines. Dietary Guidelines encourage all Americans to follow a healthy eating pattern across their entire lifespan to make sure that they have enough nutrients that's needed each day and to help maintain a healthy body weight. You want to focus your diet on variety, eating foods that have nutrient density, meaning no empty calorie foods, and making sure that you're eating the amount of nutrients needed for your age, sex, and activity levels. You want to limit your calories from added sugars. And what are added sugars, you may ask? Added sugars are sugars that are not natural sugars. These are sugars that are added in the processing of the foods. Natural sugars are sugars such as the fructose in fruit or lactose that is in milk and dairy products. You want to make sure that you have healthy food and beverage choices. Eat more seafood. In fact, 8 ounces weekly is what is recommended. When it comes to alcohol, if you are at age to drink alcohol and choose to drink alcohol, it's encouraged that you drink alcohol in moderation. That means for men, that's 2 drinks a day, and for women, that's 1 drink a day. A drink is considered 12 ounces of beer, 8 ounces of liquor, or 5 ounces of wine. Also, the very last, but not the least, is to encourage daily exercise, and for everyone to exercise daily. For adults, 60 minutes every day. For children, 60 minutes every day. You can definitely exercise as much as 60 minutes a day, but what's recommended is 60 minutes a day for children and 30 minutes a day for adults. And MyPlate. MyPlate points encourage focusing on fruits, eating the actual whole fruit. If you do drink fruit juice, fruit or vegetable juice, drinking real unsweetened juice, meaning juice without any added sugars. Varying your vegetables. Make half your plate produce, which are your fruits and vegetables. And when you choose dairy foods, choose the low-fat, 1% dairy foods. Make at least half your grains whole grains. Go lean on protein, but also include protein alternatives like your beans, your legumes, eggs, fish, nuts, and seeds. Also to choose healthy fats. These are the fats that come from plant sources, such as canola oil, vegetable oil. Not the fats that come from animal fats, such as lard, margarine, shortening. And again, the MyPlate does encourage daily exercise for everyone. The Nutrition Facts label. The Nutrition Facts label, as I stated, has been updated last year. The calorie amounts, one thing, is a lot larger than previous editions, but the Nutrition Facts label can help an individual choose healthy foods by looking at the nutrients that's in the food product. Keep in mind that the information about the nutrients is based on one serving size. Now, looking at the information from the Dietary Guidelines, from MyPlate, and also from Nutrition Facts, I want us to just do a checklist. So when it comes to looking at foods and choosing the best foods and the healthiest foods for your family, these are the things that you want to consider. When it comes to grains, you want to make sure that the grains are 100% whole wheat, breads, cereals, pasta. Vegetables, make sure you have a variety in colorful vegetables and fruits. And to have fresh as much as possible when it comes to fruits and vegetables, but include frozen and unsalted canned fruits and vegetables. Also, if doing canned fruits and vegetables, especially fruits, make sure that they're packaged in water. Pick dark green and leafy, deep orange vegetables more throughout the week, and then make sure that you have half of your plate again with fruits and vegetables. Dairy foods, protein, and other foods. When it comes to dairy and protein, you want to look at making sure you have low-fat dairy and lean meats such as your turkey and your chicken. You also want to make sure that other dairy products such as cheese and yogurt are also made from low-fat milk. Include soy milk, almond milk, or for those that have problems with the sugar in milk, which is lactose, you can even purchase the lactose-free milk or lactose-reduced milk. And with other items to purchase, part of your grocery, make sure that you have oils that are used instead of shortenings and lard, which is animal fat. Another guide is you as a parent. As a parent, you are the example for your child. So model good eating behaviors for your children. The eating habits your children pick up when they are young will help them maintain a healthy lifestyle when they become adults. Family time is very important. Family meals focus on eating and enjoying food and each other. Eating together is a chance to model good behavior. And regularly scheduling meal and snacks helps a child learn structure when it comes to eating. Now, I'd like to get in tools to save money. And the first one I want to look at is establishing a grocery list. A grocery list is a plan for which you are going to buy. In fact, if you have a plan for what you're going to buy and stick to that plan, you can reduce the amount of money that you spend. According to Food Marketing Institute, for every minute that you spend in the grocery store, you can spend up to $2.17 for every minute that you spend in the grocery store. So you want to make sure that you have your grocery list available. And this is an example of a cheap and healthy grocery list. Coupons is another tool that you can use. Where would you find coupons? The Sunday newspaper, weekly store flyers, manufacturer coupons and store websites, also loyalty cards or in-store coupons. Coupon tips, other coupon tips. First of all, you only want to get coupons that are from foods that you actually consume, that your family likes. And you want to make sure that you have some organization with your coupons. Coupons can take some time, but however, if you're more organized, it makes the process a lot easier. Organize your coupons in groups such as cereals in one group, paper goods, dairy, and so forth. Coordinate your coupons with the grocery list that you should have made first. Compare prices with store brand items. Stock up on coupons for non-perishable items such as your staples, your beans, your canned foods. Only buy perishable foods that you need and can store. Use coupons for sale items of foods normally purchased. Also, shop where both manufacturers' coupons and the in-store coupon can be used for the same product. Ask if a store can actually match the sale coupons from a different store. Many stores will match a lower cost for an item, but you have to ask.
Davia.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
but
sure.
this is such an interesting topic for me because couponing is huge right now. I have seen shows on moms that are couponing like crazy. What are some tips on how to make couponing a little bit more interactive for the whole family? Because it takes a lot of work to clip and save all these coupons and use them. How can it be more fun?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. To make coupon less on the mom or the dad, or whoever takes the responsibility of putting together the coupons, the family can become involved, the younger children and also the older children, like the teens or maybe the preteens. For younger kids, they can help sort, clip, or find coupons. Also, for the older kids, they can be responsible of actually clipping the coupon. And then for your children just in general, and also senior citizens, because we have some seniors that live in the households also, families that include senior citizens also, they can become involved too, and they can help create or decorate a coupon binder or folder. Also, it's the opportunity to be able to teach kids on how to check expiration dates, and that's very important. You want to make sure that they are getting foods that are not expired when they go grocery shopping, when they become adults, and to realize that they must eat foods within that expiration date to avoid foodborne illness. At the store, make sure that the older kids, maybe not the younger kids, locate the foods, and also you can do a game of finding food coupons in the store. And you can also have the kids try to find other coupons, or you can make sure that the kids also hold on to the coupons as you shop. Now, looking at name brands and store brands, as you can see, we have a name brand on the left side and then the store brand on the right. The name brand is more costly than the store brand. In fact, the store brand saves you $1.10 more. So look for store brands or generic brands when you shop. Now I'd like to get into unit pricing. Unit price is the price per unit. And I'd like to explain what that means. Unit price is a price that you would purchase per the unit that you are buying. And for instance, this example is going to be milk. Say there is milk that is sold in quarts and milk that is sold in gallons. Which amount would be the best buy? If you were to have 1% milk, a quart of it, it's $1.25. To find out what the unit cost would be, you would divide the cost by the quantity. You have 1 quart of milk. And so you would take the amount that 1 quart of milk is, which is $1.25, divided by the 1 unit, the quart, and you get, of course, $1.25 for the quart. Then next, if you were to have 1 gallon of milk that costs $2.50, which is equivalent to, the gallon is equivalent to 4 quarts, then you would take the $2.50 for the gallon and divide it by 4. The amount of quarts and the unit, the gallon unit. And then you would get 63 cents per quart. So looking at the amount per quart, which that's the unit you're looking at, $1.25 is more than 63 cents. So buying the gallon would be the better deal. Also, a tool that you can use is to make sure that you buy produce, which are your fruits and vegetables, when they are in season. This is a list of foods that are in season throughout the year. As you can see, some fruits and vegetables, such as apples, carrots, and bananas, are available all year. Now, when it comes to buying fresh fruit, make sure that you buy fresh fruit and vegetables as much as possible. But sometimes when it comes to buying fruit, you may not be able to find your favorite fruits. So you want to make sure that you include frozen fruits and vegetables and no salt canned goods. And you can save money by incorporating frozen fruits and vegetables and no salt canned goods. For instance, in this example here, if you were to buy all fresh produce, you would have 15 portions if you were to spend $10, you can achieve 15 portions on the left. But then on the right side, if you include canned products and then frozen products, then you can have up to 18 portions for that same $10. So you want to make sure that you do include frozen fruits and vegetables and unsalted canned goods too. Eating out versus home-cooked meals. Dining in would be cheaper. Looking at this example, you can buy a pizza for $20, well actually a pizza, maybe with some breadsticks for $20. Or you can buy for $20 7 items of grocery. That actually is a little bit less than the amount that you paid for the pizza and the breadsticks. So to purchase foods and home cook them opposed to eating out is cheaper. Other reasons to eat home cooked meals, or the advantage of home cooked meals, as we've already discussed, it is less expensive. It reduces the chance of overeating, more food for your money, healthier food selection because you choose the foods, so they're more nutritious and you're aware of what you are consuming. It also improves family time so that you can have the time to interact with your family. It reduces the risk of obesity because then you can control the amount of fat, salt, and sugar that your family consumes. Then you can cook once and eat twice, meaning you can plan for leftovers. If you decide to eat out, here are some suggestions. Select appetizers opposed to entrees, or if you have a favorite entree, share the entree. Drink water instead of sweetened tea. Also, you can make sure that you watch portion size and share large portion sizes with the family. Limit the refills that are often free, and avoid sugary drinks, the sodas and the lemonades filled with much sugar. Also, you can choose low-fat steamed vegetables as a side order. You can use fruit as a dessert, and you can decide on which restaurant that allows kid specials or discounts for senior citizens. Now I'd like to go into tips on food preparation. To begin, we looked at how to decide upon healthy foods. Now we're going to look at how we can use those foods to make healthy meals and to decrease foodborne illness or to decrease the incidence of becoming sick with foods, so food safety, and then also looking at trying to avoid food waste. First of all, you want to plan nutritious meals. The advantages of preparing a meal plan is that it's less stress over what to eat, wasted time searching for foods. Also, it saves trips to the grocery store. As we know, the more we go to the grocery store, the more we tend to spend. Choose likable foods for the family. You can incorporate that in your meals. Select foods within your budget. You can allow fruits and vegetables in season. You can use the weekend to cook quantity foods so that you can have leftovers, or cook quantity soups and stews. And this helps you during the week to be able to just simply warm up or reheat and serve to your family. You can also do some tasks earlier, such as cutting up vegetables. Have them pre-cut for salads or casseroles that you'd like to do for the next day. And you want to make sure that you make your meals appealing, colorful. Everyone likes interesting foods to eat that are tasty.
Davia, I was going to ask you a question right here. What are your thoughts about meatless meals? It seems that I hear a lot about meatless Mondays. Is that nutritious? Can that be a nutritious way to save money?
Yes, it can. One thing, it is nutritious. For meatless meals usually means you're incorporating eggs, peanut butter, beans, other forms of protein. And many times those forms of protein are cheaper. As we know, a bag of beans are much cheaper than 2 pounds of meat. So meatless meals is a very good way to incorporate saving money and being able to eat nutritious foods also at the same time.
Great.
This is a slide that I wanted to make sure that I include because this information could be very valuable for you. This is information that tells you of affordable recipes and also menus to give you ideas of what to have. And they also keep into consideration those that are wanting to budget and spend and that are budgeting their foods or needing to not have so much food costs. So make sure that you visit these websites for that information on recipes and menus. Healthy meal reminders. When it comes to preparing meals, make sure that you include fat-free, dairy, protein foods. Include eggs, as we stated earlier, making meatless meal plans. Include foods such as fish and nuts and seeds as part of your meals. Make sure that you have fresh fruits and vegetables as much as possible, and then use canned or frozen fruits or vegetables when needed. Also, to make sure that you watch the amount of salt by using spices and herbs that do not have salt or a low salt. And then watch your condiments to make sure that they are not high in sugar, like your mustard and your ketchup. And your salad dressings too. They can be very high in sugar. And then when it comes to your beverage to drink, choose water more, less soda, and less fruit drinks. Now I'd like to get into serving sizes. Serving sizes is a recommended amount that the MyPlate and the Dietary Guidelines suggest for Americans to consume. When we look at our plant-based food groups, grains, vegetables, and fruits, a serving of grains would be equivalent to 1 slice of bread, a half a cup of cooked rice or pasta. For vegetables, it's a half a cup cooked vegetables or a cup of raw vegetables, a half a cup of vegetable juice. For fruits, 1 small piece of fruit, a wedge of cantaloupe, watermelon, and a half a cup of fruit juice, and a half a cup of dried fruit, such as raisins. For dairy protein food groups, the dairy food group, the key serving size is 1 cup of milk, 1.5 ounce of cheese. For protein is 3 ounces of meat, 1 egg, a half a cup of cooked dried beans, or 1 tablespoon of peanut butter or almond butter, and 1 to 2 ounces or 1/4 cup of nuts. Now, let me go back to this slide. I want to look at portion size. Now, portion size is the amount that you choose to consume. Now, when it comes to consuming our foods in terms of wanting to eat healthier, we want to make sure that we have our portion similar to the serving size. I like to look now at 12 ounces of orange juice versus the recommended amount, 4 ounces. As you can see here, we have 12 ounces of juice, 170 calories. We have 4 ounces of juice that comes to about 56 calories. There's a difference in the caloric amount. Now, one thing about juice, outside of making sure that you have the correct portion size, is to also make sure that it's 100% real, unsweetened fruit juice. You want to make sure that it's not a fruit drink. Many times, I know when children, when they go into the grocery store, they may get a fruit drink. Make sure they're buying fruit juice, and they are consuming the 4 ounce amount of fruit juice, which is the recommended amount, versus the entire portion, that 12 ounce of fruit juice. Now I'd like to look at snacks. Speaking of children and also adults, we all like to snack, but when we snack, we need to make sure that there also are healthy snacks. With children, they enjoy things that are either dipped, and they like to have finger foods. So nutrition snacks for children are low-fat yogurt with apples. These are some examples. Low-salt tortilla with fresh salsa, a hard-boiled egg, grated Parmesan cheese on plain popcorn, easy-to-go items such as pretzels dipped in low-fat honey mustard, or red bell peppers, as these young ladies here in the picture are eating, and a vegetable dip. Also gelatin with water-packed fruit. Also, you can use graham crackers with peanut butter to make their own little peanut butter sandwiches. Natural applesauce opposed to the sweetened type of applesauce that would have the added sugars. And carrot sticks, again with ranch dressing or any other vegetables dipped in ranch dressing, they tend to eat very well. Or you can explore fruit and yogurt smoothies. Using leftovers. Using leftovers is very important because when it comes to the foods that you eat and the money that you spend on the foods, you want to make sure that you're eating all of the food. So these are some ideas to create leftovers after you have had your meals. For instance, if you have leftover vegetables or fruits or meats, you can make soups, dips, sauces, also used for just making tossed salad. You can do your own homemade fruit cocktail, which is just a medley of different fruits. Also do the same with vegetables. You can serve pasta with the leftover meat or either rice. Remember, when it comes to pasta and rice, to make sure you have the whole wheat pasta and rice. And also you can make burritos or rolled sandwiches, rice pudding, yogurt, fruit parfait, or gelatin with fruit. And remember, you can take these leftovers to lunch the next day, which I often do. This helps reduce the food costs, and actually food tastes better, it seems, when it's set in the refrigerator overnight. So try bringing your lunch by using those leftovers. Remember that when it comes to our foods, we want to make sure that we cook what we need. If we cook more, we need to make sure that we intend to use it as leftovers to be able to feed our families later. Using leftovers to make delicious meals is a smart way to ensure that you eat everything that you buy. Now I'd like to look at food storage basics. When it comes to food storage, we primarily have 3 types of food storage: in the pantry, refrigerator, and freezer. Depending on the type of foods that you're purchasing, whether they're perishable foods like meat, fish, milk, eggs, or whether it's semi-perishable like the flour, grains, or some of our fruits and vegetables. Depending on what type of food you have is where you need to keep your food stored, because it's important that you keep food safe to avoid foodborne illnesses. So there's 4 simple steps that you can use to make sure that you keep your food safe. One is that you clean your hands or wash your hands and your surfaces that you cook on or use in food preparation often. 2 is that you don't cross-contaminate, meaning that you cut up meat and then turn around and cut up vegetables on the same cutting board. That's cross-contamination. Also, that you cook foods to the proper temperature. And 4th, that you refrigerate promptly. Make sure that foods that are perishable are placed back into the refrigerator within an hour after you have used them. It's very important if you're going on picnics too to make sure that you keep foods at the appropriate temperature. I do have a handout or resource that is included in my list of resources afterward that is a very good comprehensive food storage guide from the Extension Service that will be available to you also. Now, if you do all of these things in terms of making sure that you follow the guidelines, you use the tools, and you also use the tips, but find your family still is at need, there is assistance. The assistance can come from SNAP, Child Nutrition Programs, WIC, Alabama Food Bank, and maybe your local church food ministry. SNAP. SNAP stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's a program that was called food stamps, but basically it's a program that looks at income. In fact, your federal programs are going to look at the amount of income that your family makes. But with SNAP, they also look to see what your resources are, your deductions, other tests that they use to tell if you're going to be eligible for food stamps or not. And the department that's responsible of issuing out food stamps is the Department of Human Resources. The Alabama Child Nutrition Programs, there are several of them. As you can see, it's not just one program, but several programs. And usually these programs are designed to feed children at the school or care facilities that they are in before and after school. The Alabama Child Nutrition Programs is administered by the Department of Education. If you go to their site, you can find information on what programs your county offers. Also, you can apply online if you'd like, but many times at the beginning of the school year, children are given applications to see if they're eligible for child nutrition programs. The WIC program, the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, provides supplemental foods and formula for women that are pregnant, that are breastfeeding, and are postpartum for up to 6 months. Infants and in children that are 5 years old or up to 5 years old. With WIC, you must have a nutritional risk and must meet income guidelines. Contact your local health department to apply for WIC. What you'll receive are vouchers that you take to the WIC-approved WIC vendors that will provide these foods for you.
Davia,
Yes.
if you are a health professional and you're working with families that are in need of food assistance, and yet they fall through the cracks, somehow they might not qualify for all these great programs you've just discussed, what suggestions do you have for those families? How can they get assistance?
Okay. Well, there is an association. It's a nonprofit association, the Alabama Food Bank Association, and they have 8 food banks that they coordinate, and they get money and donations from local food companies, government agencies to provide foods that can meet the needs of families that may not qualify for the federal programs. Okay. So they can actually go online, or they can visit the Alabama Food Bank Association to find out where their local county food bank is, or if they know of the food bank, they can apply in person. But the mission of the Alabama Food Bank Association is to assist the food banks and to provide another way for those that are in need of food money in Alabama. And last but not least, you can always check your local church if you're a member of a church, or if you're a visitor at a church or aware of a church. Many churches have food ministry as a ministry in their church, so you can check also with your local church to see if they can assist you. 5 key points that I do want to close with that's important with setting up the success for the family in terms of eating healthy and making sure that you meet your budget. One is that you need to eat more fruits and vegetables, consume less sugar and fat, eat healthier snacks, watch portion size, and eat together as a family. These 5 points were brought to you by First Lady Michelle Obama in her Let's Move campaign. So we want to strive to do these 5 things so that we can set up the success for our families, and to know that eating healthy is doable and achievable on a budget. I thank you for allowing me to share with you. These are references that I spoke of earlier on the statistics, guidelines, and so forth. And if there are any questions, please contact me. And I am Davia Adams, and I can be reached at the information as you see. Thank you for spending time with me. If there's any way that I can be of help, I do appreciate that.